Hey guys, this is Shaun with Photo Solutions Market and Spotlight Photographics, and today we're talking about the new high school and youth sports photography season pass ticket templates. These are brand new templates, just came out on the market, and I think they have some really cool potential and some really awesome um, things that you can change on these templates that make these different from anything that you've seen from Spotlight Photographics or myself. So we're going to get into this here. I'm going to show you a little bit about what the templates can do. This right here is the Fusion template if you're looking over on the screen. And I'm going to make this full screen here. Alright, and what you're seeing here is the actual ticket template. This is a 10 by 30. If we look at the properties of it, it is a 10 by 30 at 300 DPI, which means that you can print this as a panoramic print. You can also print this all the way up to a 3 foot by 8 foot banner by changing the size of that to 3 foot by 8 foot at 72 or 100 DPI, whatever your large format printer requires. So it has a lot of versatility, and you can also put these 4 up on an 8 by 10 as well, and I'm going to show you how that all works as well. But the first thing I want to talk about is every single one of these templates come with these football helmets, and a lot of people, when I first demoed this on our Facebook Live page, if you're not a part of that group, go join it. It's called Custom Youth Sports Photography Solutions. Um, I talked about this last night, and if you're watching this later, it was many nights ago. But this template has these helmets already in it. And then there's an expansion pack that you can buy that has all of the other sports in it. For example, baseball, basketball, cheerleading, football, that kind of thing. But what I want to show you here is how these work. So for example, everything like every other template I've made, everything is color changeable. So for example, if we want to change this over to green team, which is we'll say they're a green team. This is actually a different template, but they're green and yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come in here and change this template over. So it's very simple. Again, this is the Fusion template, and all of the templates in the Quantum series, the Volume 5, of the templates have the same functionality. So I'm not going to go through every single template because you're going to get the gist of it here. But what we're going to do is, you can see we have the helmets category has its own drop down group. But what we're going to do is change the background color first. So we're looking for everything that has a little blue tab and an adjustment layer. So we're going to double click on that adjustment layer, and then we just simply move this bar to be green, and we can save that code and say it's 107, and go ahead and change the rest of these to 107, and that way they're all the same color green that we chose. And there we go. So now that is there. Now if you don't like the helmets being behind the blast, all you have to do is bring the helmet layer above all of those, and now it's above the blast. Okay. Now on the names, the team names, we can change that over, and let's see what this other one is. It was the Panthers. So all we have to do is take our text tool, highlight the word that's there, type in Panthers, and again, if you have not already installed the fonts, make sure you install the fonts, because it'll tell you that you don't have the right fonts. And then to change this blue outer glow, we simply double click on outer glow and click on this color and select green, and then select the green that you want it to be. Now I would at this point select the color code, and if you have the team color code already, this is where you can use it. And then we'll go to the season pass. And all I did to do this, by the way, is I held down my control key and right clicked, and it showed me everything that was underneath my mouse at that time. So I found season pass pretty quickly. Double click on outer glow and paste in that color code. So now we are pretty close. So let's go ahead and adjust the name here and the number. Again, this has an outer glow on it, same as before, so we use that same green color code. And then we also have the hue and saturation color changing for the flares. And you'll see those also marked as blue. So that changed everything over, and now we can edit the team. So we have right here is what is a shape color. So to change a shape color, you simply double click on the shape over here in the layer, and that pulls up the picker, which then you can put your green color in. And then all of the words here that are blue, you can see I have a blue tab next to them. You can highlight all of them at once, come up to your color, your character palette, select on the color, change this over to your green color, and now they're all green. And to change the text, it's the same as what we did with the Panthers and all that. It's just simply highlighting it and changing the name. Now this is where it gets really cool, and I'm going to actually change the player too. I'm going to go ahead and drop him out, and we'll bring in the new player and drop him in. So when you have something cut out, you would just drag and drop your image in once it's been cut out. So this is where it gets really cool, guys, is these helmets. Okay, and a lot of the other expansion pack, which I'll get into here in a second, have these same color changing features. Okay, these are two separate helmets. So if we come over here to our palette, you'll see that we have a helmets group, and in this helmets group we have a logo, a face mask, a helmet, and then we have another helmet, a logo, a face mask, and a helmet. And if you want to know which one you're working on, just simply on the helmet layer, just turn it off and you'll see that you're working on that helmet right there. So here's the first thing that we'll do. What we're going to do is change these over to be the green and yellow. Okay, and we'll say that they only have one helmet, so both of these helmets are going to end up being the same. So the first thing we're going to do is change the helmet color. So we're going to double click on this to do a hue and a saturation, and we're going to come over here and change it to green. Now that may be too bright for you. That may not be the right color green. So what we can do at this point is play with the saturation and the lightness levels. At first we'll bring the lightness down, and you see that starts getting to be a darker green. Okay, you may have to play with the lightness, you may have to play with the saturation to get to the actual color green that you're looking for on both the helmet and the mask. So now we're going to go up to the face mask, and we're going to change this over to yellow, and you'll see that it's by default gray. So that's the saturation is all the way down. So it's actually on yellow right now. So all I'm going to do is bring up the saturation, and then I can adjust the lightness to be whatever brightness of yellow that I want it to be. And now we have that the same. So what we can do now is we can actually look at these codes and adjust the other helmet the same way, or we can make the other helmet different. You can come over here to this other helmet. We can adjust the face mask, make this face mask green. And again, that may be too bright, so what we'll do is just bring down the lightness, and that darkens it down. And now to change out the logos, we're simply going to just bring in a logo. I'm just going to bring in a logo that was on another helmet here. Oops. And we're just going to drop it right there where that logo was. Okay. And we'll go ahead and get rid of the other logo. And at this point, you can see the helmet, the logo, whoops, the logo is actually coming off of the helmet. Okay. So all you need to do is come over between the two layers, hold down the Alt key, and you see the mouse changes to a different icon. So all we have to do at this point is click down, and it masks it into the helmet layers, just like that. And we can do the same thing over on the other side. We can go ahead and copy this logo and just drag it down. And I was holding down the Alt key at that point. Delete the old one, and now the new logo. I used an overlay so you can change the way that the logos look. I may have that underneath stuff. Oh, I didn't drag it over. Well, that makes sense. So now I'm dragging it over. So then on the other side, I'm just going to rotate this, flip this thing over. So I'm going to flip it horizontal, and now I can place it there. So just like that, you know, we've changed that. Obviously, I changed the blending mode on this, so you can put it normal as it normally would be, or you can change blending modes, and blending modes can actually allow some of the helmet to come through like this. But it all depends on your colors and your logos of how that's going to actually function. But that is how the football helmets work. As you can see, you can make them any colors that you want. All you have to do is just come in here and, whatever color you need that body of the helmet to be, you can make it whatever color you want. So there's the yellow and green version. If let's say this is going to be a blue helmet, there you go. Really, really awesome. And I think these are going to take off really well. You don't have to go find your helmets anymore. You don't have to shoot the helmets of the team. You can actually make them just by grabbing their logo and knowing what colors their mask and their helmet is. So let's check out this expansion pack here. The expansion pack, like I said, comes with all these different sports, and there will be more sports coming if you haven't seen the sport that you want. But a lot of these do the same thing, and they have a spot for a team logo to go because some of these helmets don't use team logos like the football helmets do. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove that layer for just a second here, and you can see that these two helmets have two different colors here, but you can change in the baseball, you can change the main helmet color and the accent helmet color. Just the same way that we did with the football helmets. So you can see I changed this to be purple, and let's go ahead and change the helmet here to be maybe a darker purple. There we go. So very quickly you can change these over to be the school colors that you need them to be. If you need something to be gray, all you do is bring down the saturation, and now it's a gray helmet. If you need it to be darker, you can bring it down. Now it's a black helmet. If you need it to be a white helmet, you can bring the lightness up, and now you have a white helmet. So that's pretty much how you use the baseball one. And the basketball is pretty self-explanatory. It's two basketballs. Cheerleading, now the cheerleading does have the same color change abilities, and you have a light and dark. So I'm going to turn off the logo here and show you. You can change the light color of this, and this is the yellow one. You can change that to, let's say, make those green. And again, you may need to adjust the lightness category to actually make the colors be exactly what you want. Maybe some of the saturation, just depends. And then you also can change the dark color to be a different color as well. So we're going to say that we're going to make that red. There we go. And again, you can adjust the lightness and darkness to get to the exact colors that you're looking for. So that's the cheerleading. Football we already covered. Hockey is the same as football. You can color change. Turn one off here. It looks like. There we go. You can change the helmet colors on the mask and the helmet. So you can change them independently, and this is an example of the two different colors here. But you can come in here just like the other ones, change the mask to be whatever you want. Again, you may have to adjust the saturation level if it's the gray one. So let's go ahead and make this one green, and then we'll come down to the helmet, and we're going to go ahead and make this helmet a white helmet. There we go. And then over here on the other helmet, we can change this to be the same way. Make it green. And maybe their other helmet is all green as well. Just a darker green. So there we go. And again, if we want to make this face mask have a chrome look color, we just take the saturation all the way down, and then we can adjust the lightness and darkness however we feel. So if we want it to be black, then there's how we get it to be black. If we want it to be white, we can put it up like that. So there we go. There's our green and white face masks. Lacrosse is the exact same as the hockey and the football, except for lacrosse, you actually have 3 items that you can choose from to change colors on. So let's take a look at that one. So for example, on this first one here, we're going to talk about the one over here on the left. You can change the helmet color. So let's go ahead and change this one to the same team we just did a second ago, the green team. And now you can change the mask, and you can see that the saturation was already all the way down because it started as gray on the sample. So we're going to bring our saturation up, And actually, let's go ahead and make that mask white. There we go. And then you can also adjust the strap color. And just so you can see the difference, I'm going to go ahead and make it just a completely different color here. And again, you can adjust the lightness and the darkness of the strap to make it the right shade of the color that you're looking for. So there you go. That is the lacrosse. Soccer, we have soccer balls, but not just any soccer balls. These soccer balls also have dual control. You can see it's got a sheen here of purple. That is because that is the spot color, and you can change that spot color shadow to be any color that you want. Again, adjusting this to do that, so we're going to make it green. And you can also change the body of the soccer ball if you choose to. The body of the soccer ball is going to be all the way down in its saturation level, but if you bring it up, and let's say we wanted to make that soccer ball green, you would then adjust the color darkness and adjust the saturation, and you can make that soccer ball green. And then we can take and remove that flare at the top and make that flare white. There we go. So now you have a green soccer ball. So you really have the ability to do whatever you want there when it comes to that one. Let's see, let's move on. We have the softball, which is just two softballs. There's not any color adjusting there. And then we have volleyball, which also has no color adjusting. But here's how these work. So say, for example, let's see, which one did we do the lacrosse with? I think it was lacrosse, right? No, it was hockey. Okay. So the hockey one, let's say that this is the one we're going to use in this here. So what we're going to do is go ahead and turn off the helmets, but click on the helmets layer. That way, when we bring something in, it's going to go right where that was. So we're going to come over here to the hockey. Let's find where the hockey was, right there. And we're just going to go ahead and select hockey, and we can close the group if we want. Go ahead and drag that over to the template and drop it right in. And then we had it turned off, so we can turn on the eyedrop there. I think we drug it right inside the hockey, or the helmets one. So we'll turn off the helmets. So there we go. And now we have our hockey helmets that fit exactly right where they're supposed to go. So that's how the expansion pack works, guys. And like I said, these are going to be really cool. You can do them 4 up on an 8x10. So for example, if we go ahead and make an 8x10 canvas, we're going to do 10 wide by 8 tall at 300. So if we make our 8x10 canvas, then what we can do is go ahead and grab a finished item, bring it into that canvas, rotate it, to fit, and then we can just duplicate these over. Now I told you that there is some trimming on these. Whoops. So what we do is once we get all of them in a line, we just make sure that they fit by just bringing them in to the corners. And now you can either center it up if you want to, but I would probably do this, just bring it down all the way to the bottom. And that way, when you do the slice to cut these out, all you have is this top portion that you have to cut off. So you can send that through the printer, and now you have miniature tickets. And these are about 2.5 inches wide by about, let's see, about 8 inches. So 2.5 by 8 inch tickets. So these are pretty cool. That's pretty much it, guys, on the season pass tickets. A little tutorial video and review there for you, so you guys see how these work. but I think they're going to be really, really popular with the high school sports and the youth sports. So if you have any questions, you can always contact me. Make sure you check out the knowledge base for any other tutorials that you're looking for other templates, and grab these today. There are more designs coming, but these are going to be very powerful. And also, don't forget to grab the expansion pack. That way you have all of your other sports in there. And if you don't see a sport that is in that expansion pack, that means that we'll probably be coming out with the second expansion pack, which will probably have things like um, uh, tennis and those kinds of things. The non-major sports that usually most everybody shoots. I'm going to be making a second expansion pack for that. But thank you guys again. I appreciate you stopping by, and until next time, I'm Shaun with Photo Solutions Market, Spotlight Photographics, and I appreciate everything you guys do, and anything you need, just give me a call. Have a great day.